Hello and welcome to the Parenting Tools podcast with me, Jason.
And me, Jordan. This is the podcast where me and Jason talk about our lives and the hilarious chaos. What the heck?
I saw you reach then right back into the memory bank.
What is it? Something about chaos and beauty, isn't it?
Yeah.
Could be our nicknames.
Oh, Jordan, before we get into this week's episode, we just want to give a massive shout out to anyone who has been donating to food banks this week. If you listened to last week's episode, we said that it wouldn't be amazing if a few of us just donated to food banks from the beginning of this week.
Yeah, so thank you to everyone who's donated. If you haven't yet and you want to get involved, just find your local food bank and drop in some food.
And if you're listening to this in the future, you can still do it.
Still get involved,
just
yeah.
Ping us a message. We'd just love to know, just so we know that we're not alone in this endeavour. Well, that's very official.
Yeah. Ping us a message. How are you?
Oh, George. Oh, my word. I know, actually, there's a recurring theme that sometimes when we get to this point in the podcast, the very beginning, where we are already spent. And I am coming off the back of a hectic, not even just weeks, the last 4 days have been so busy with lots of stuff with the kids, having family over, seeing friends, where I am just, my brain is struggling to cope. I feel like I'm on autopilot, but not in a bad way. I'm just like, not really aware what's going on. Feels like a bit of a dream.
When you pass that point of tide where you're just delirious. Amazing. That's so it's been bonfire weekend.
Yes,
Is that like your social stuff's been based around?
That's an element of it, but just in general, like, you know, when you plan to have people over like weeks in advance and then you forget all the other stuff that's around those dates. and so it's literally been like 4 or 5 days of just constant things with no break in between.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm feeling good. How about you?
I am buzzing.
Buzzing?
Do you know what? I am buzzing. I got ID'd at the weekend. I went to I went to my local supermarket. And whilst I was there, I just thought, you know what? Treat myself to a beer. Because it's bonfire night, you're outside, around the fire.
Yeah.
So I picked up a few bevies, went to the self-service, and the guy came across and went, "You got any ID?" And I went, "That's very kind of you. Thank you." And he looked at me a bit weird. I went, "Do you know what? I haven't carried ID for a while, because I'm 31. And he just went, like, he was quite taken aback. And they went, "Oh, in that case." And he just pressed the button.
Do you know what? I don't know what I should feel, because the same situation happened to me, but I didn't get ID'd. I didn't get ID'd. She just glanced at me, went, clearly looked haggard and old.
Oh yeah, I was thrilled. I said to him, "Mate, you've made my week. Can't wait to go tell my wife about this." Put it straight on the group chat. So yeah, I'm good. And yesterday we had bonfire, fireworks with some friends. We all nearly died.
You sent me a video.
Oh my goodness.
Please explain for the listener.
So my mate, Luke, I'm going to name and shame. He bought some rockets, some massive bangers, and stuck them in the ground, lit the firework, and it didn't fly into the sky. So we're all thinking, oh, it's not worked. But just because it didn't fly didn't mean it didn't explode. And it just went off. It was huge. This explosion was massive. We're all there with our kids. A bit hit my wife in the leg, but she was sat down holding our baby. We got away with one that nobody got hurt, to be honest. And then we did it again, and it worked. We're like, hey, we know the formula now.
Was it more nerves going into the second time round?
It was hilarious. So we were all like really excited to see what would happen. And then we did it again. It worked. Third time, it didn't work.
No.
And that was petrifying because it moved in the ground. It tipped. So we all just ran. By this point, like, all the ladies had gone inside with the kids. There was a couple of dogs as well. So they're all the blokes are outside just running for cover.
How were your kids with the fireworks?
All right, considering one went off like 3 meters away from them, they were fine. They were okay, yeah.
Okay, so Noah just didn't like it. She stood inside and watched it, but she was saying, "Oh, it's too loud. She liked the colour of it, but the noise was just too much."
Yeah.
I still stood outside though.
Well, last
we
year
swapped.
we've got where we live, where there's a massive bonfire display that goes on, and like the whole town goes, and it's huge. And last year we went, and I'm a pretty laid back dad. I'm pretty chilled. Probably to my in-laws' despair. I think it nerves them how laid back I am. But I was petrified because it was dark.
Yeah.
He didn't want to be held. He wanted to walk. And there was just so many people. So I'm like wrestling with him for hours, saying like, just stay with me. Fireworks started. I don't like it.
Oh.
And I'm like, what the heck? My arms are killing for you to go, I want to go home as soon as they start.
I'm so glad that we didn't make all the effort of going somewhere, paying for tickets.
Yeah.
And all that palaver. We sit in the back garden, and I'm glad we did that, because first one, she wants to go straight back inside.
Yeah. So yeah, we did it with friends this year to avoid that, but we all nearly died. So risk and reward.
Jordan, I've got an update for you.
Oh yeah, come on.
It's a nursery update.
Oh yeah. How's she getting on?
She loves it.
Oh, good.
Genuinely, bit of a shock. So we had 1 week where she couldn't go because she was in hospital, kidney stones, all that sort of stuff happened.
Yep.
And then the Monday was coming around, and we were dreading it. Like trying to still be positive for her, so she didn't like realise that we don't like her going either.
Yeah.
And she just went in. She was fine.
Amazing.
Fine, completely fine. And today she was singing songs on the way. And
Oh, it's Monday today. Jeez.
yeah.
Wow.
So it's gone. She's
come on.
She's fine with it. And so it's like all the worry and anxiety. I thought we were going to be like having tears for like months.
Yeah.
But like what, 4 weeks?
Amazing.
Less than that?
Amazing.
Done.
That's such a relief.
It's such a relief because I feel less guilty now.
Yeah. Does she like come back and tell you about what she's done and who she's played with and?
Yeah, so she's making friends now at nursery, which is really sweet.
That's the best.
And then she'll like recount her day, like the stuff that she's done. It's always the same.
Yeah.
It's always colouring, playing in the sand, going outside, going on the slide. But it's really nice. And one thing, actually, this is a proper like top tip, top tool. Yes.
Yes, again.
That was amazing.
Nailed it.
We were chatting with some other parents yesterday, and they've got slightly older kids, and they were saying one of the best things that they heard was when your children like complain about something or they're moaning, like don't just go, oh, they're just kids, they'll get over it.
Just ignore him.
Like they were saying like they were saying just listen to them, and like if they don't want to go to school or they don't want to go to nursery, there might be a genuine reason they just can't explain, and they might not have the vocabulary to explain, oh, they don't like the way that things are happening or certain things.
Yeah.
And it was just really one of those things. And so Noah was saying she doesn't want to go to, she's happy to go to nursery, but she doesn't want to go outside. And it's like something's happened when they were outside that she's now scared of. And so that's making her not want to go.
It's flipping freezing.
Yeah, apart from that, apart from being cold. But like genuinely, just one of those little penny drops of, oh, like, I know because they're kids and sometimes we can miss when they're like complaining about something.
Yeah.
Or, oh, you know, they're just kids, they're just tired. But half the times they just don't have the vocabulary to actually explain, oh, this is making me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want to do it. So that's my top tool that I've learned this week.
That's good. So she loves it.
I wouldn't say love. She's happy to go.
Yeah. You love that she's happy to go.
Yeah. I'm happy with that. That's a good outcome.
Oh, amazing. That's good. That's good because you don't want tears every time.
Oh, no. And it's just the emotional toll it takes on, like, especially seeing my wife. My wife hates it. And it's like, I can quite easily switch off.
Yeah.
I can switch off until I have to go pick her up. But Em thinks about it all the time. And so it's like, But yeah, glad that's over, at least for now.
Yeah. Oh, good. Well, I'm glad to hear it. Jace, we've got an opening question from friend of the pod.
Come on.
Sander.
Sander.
Did we ever go through Sander's baby name?
We didn't finalise the results.
Because I've got it.
So just for the new listeners, explain the...
So Sander is a international listener from Amsterdam, Holland. Or is it the Netherlands? Never quite sure between the two. And he challenged us to pronounce his son's name.
Because we're terrible at pronouncing names.
Because we are terrible at pronouncing names. And it was Gijs. And you went for Gijs.
Gijs.
And I went for Gijs.
Geis.
And he's confirmed that the G is a K, like Loch Ness.
Oh,
So it's Keis.
so we're both wrong.
Yep. But we were closer than
Closer
I thought we'd be. So Sander's question is, and this is a good one for the weather turning actually, how do you entertain your toddler on a rainy day without Cocomelon? Good question. Thank you, Sander.
What are your thoughts?
So we've, much like Peppa Pig, swerved Cocomelon because my wife heard that it was addictive and all the kids that watch it are addicted to it.
Yeah.
And episode 1, you confirmed that theory for us. So yeah, we've avoided Cocomelon, but obviously TV in general. I'm going to give my wife a little shout here. So if you're on Instagram, my wife has got an account called Let's Learn and Play.
All one word?
Yep. And she puts like indoor play and educational stuff because she's a teacher.
Yep.
And she puts stuff on there, and she doesn't know I'm going to give her this shout out. She hasn't asked me to, but I look at the stuff on there and think, that's amazing. And she's just playing with our little boy. I think our little girl's a bit too young for some of the stuff on there at the minute, but I'm sure she'll feature in the future. So yeah, follow my wife's Let's Learn and Play account.
Oh, this is the first time I'm seeing it.
It's awesome.
This is amazing.
It's genuinely really good. Like, she's nailing it.
Because this is one of the things where whenever we're at yours now recording the podcast, whenever we come round or we see what activities you have for your kids, they're all like phenomenal. That's like Pinterest.
Well, yeah, I can't take any credit or say that I contribute in any way.
So creative and like quality. I'm just having a quick look through these ideas.
Yeah, really good. So that's one bit of advice I'd give to you, Sander. Check out my wife's Play account. But I would. So what do we do when it's playtime? Get out the house, go to soft play and things like that. Take them to Nanny's house.
That's always a good get out of jail free card.
Yeah, let's go see Nanny because it's raining. What do we do? Yeah, just loads of play and loads of different things. And
We've done a few times like out in the rain.
nice.
So like
welly walk,
like jumping puddles and
just.
But you can't do that all the time.
No,
It's tiring.
it's a lot of washing to get through.
Yeah, I mean, because we have the TV on. I wouldn't say a lot, but we utilise the TV. But my daughter's actually quite good at just playing with things and colouring. And like having like little make believe play that she does, and like we bought an indoor slide.
Nice.
We did, but we got it gifted to us. One of the best gifts because she doesn't get bored of it. Like legitimately 40 or 50 times she'll just go.
What's
constantly.
the difference between an indoor slide and an outdoor slide?
One lives indoors.
Is it just an outdoor slide that comes inside?
Yeah, I think it's just small enough that it lives inside.
Oh, we've got a bouncy castle.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I mentioned this on a previous episode.
Yes.
I bought it for my nephew for Christmas, and anyway, it came back to us because he's kind of outgrown it. So we've got that at the minute.
Amazing.
Oh, it's so good.
That's amazing.
The problem is, I just want to nap on it. I just see it like this big inflatable thing and think that looks comfortable.
Actually, one of the best things that we've bought, like just for normal play, is like a pack of, like, you get those like kids branded cards or something, or like dominoes or something. Noah loves them. Like she'll turn them all over, then try and match them all together, and she'll just do that literally by herself or with us for ages.
Yeah,
it's phenomenal.
there's these books, and I don't know what they're called, but my little boy loves them. They are books, but they come with the characters.
Words.
Yeah, they've got words and pages. It's amazing. Yeah, they come with the characters with the story. So it's not just a book; it's toys.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're called, but they're really good. And he will sit and play with them for ages. Because
this is one of the comments that we've had like on TikTok a few times when we've posted the short snippets where we maybe complaining or like, we had a hard week, and it's just a 15-second moan, which as parents we will all know. But the comments, especially directed to me, are just don't be lazy parents. Just try harder.
Yeah. It's like when you said about the iPad, wasn't it? Yeah, that was it. Well, my little boy this morning, so he's had no TV today. We said we're not watching TV today. I think partly because we've had a bit of a rainy time, so we've been in a lot. So he's been watching a lot of TV. He said, no TV, you're not watching TV. And he just went, I'll watch your phone instead. So there you go, Sander. How'd you swerve TV?
That's our solutions.
On another device. Speaking of TikTok, we've got some comments that came in about teething. So we posted a clip saying teething just sets everything back and all that kind of stuff. And somebody, their username is Kitter, but I literally use teething as an excuse to get out of things that I don't want to do.
As in their teething?
Yeah. Oh, my wisdom teeth are coming through.
Oh, that is painful though.
Yeah.
It's still on to a real issue there. Oh,
babies don't know how good they've got. The little first set of teeth. Wait till you got your wisdom
the ones
teeth.
that are sharp. There's the wisdom ones that move your whole mouth around.
Blunt objects forcing their way in.
Wait, my whole cheek ends up swelling up. Anyway.
No, you've got more wisdom than me. Another one from Prince of Armageddon.
Wow.
Yes, I don't think that's his real name.
Who's the king?
His dad. He put 4 teeth coming out at the moment, all at the top. It's a legit nightmare. It's the middle of the night screams that haunt you.
Oh,
sounds harrowing.
That sounds awful.
Someone else, we had 6 teeth come through all at once. I totally blame everything on teething. Glad it's not just me. So yeah, teething comments went down.
Was there any other solutions? Because I know we mentioned gels and powders.
No.
I was hoping for some like really weird, wacky.
No. It's just parents going, do you know what? I blame everything on teething. Someone did say it's the most accurate description of teething they've ever heard, which take that.
It was great.
We'll take that. And then we've had a story come in, and this is really funny. This really made me laugh. So this came in from a friend of mine about a friend of his.
Yeah.
Friend of a friend.
Friend of a friend.
And he said, our Rod, his friend Rod, had a vasectomy this week.
Ooh.
Yeah. He's taking the plunge. And he told his 4/5-year-old that he'd had an operation because they always play fight and stuff. He went to pick him up from a birthday party yesterday, and one of the other parents said to him, so what's happened, Rod? Mason's been telling everyone you've had your winky chopped off. That's one way to look at it.
I think the operation would happen a lot less if that was the case.
Well, yeah. You can't have that reversed, can you? So yeah, you can imagine that, can't you? What the kid's been saying.
I don't know if I'm at the right age where the conversations about vasectomies aren't happening within my friendship groups. Yeah. But I'm sure at a certain time of life, it's all the rage.
I remember asking for it for my 30th. Well, I said, what do you want? I said, I'll have the supply cut off.
The snip?
Yeah. Didn't know. And then we were in the hospital with our second. I said, right, I'm just going to pop upstairs and get this sorted out.
That's a really weird one to talk about, isn't it? Because I understand why people do it, but it also makes me like a little bit uncomfortable.
You clench up a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, dear me.
Do you think you'll go there?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. What's the other solution? What's the alternative?
I don't know.
This is a family-friendly podcast.
I know. I'm just assuming that the medical world is moving so quickly that they come up with an easier solution.
Like a loyalty card.
You get a stamp.
Yeah. Oh my days, let's move on. So, oh dear me, a few weeks ago I was poorly. I had the man flu.
Oh yeah, serious case.
To the point where I had a couple of days off work.
Oh, really serious case, man.
In the last 4 years I've had 1 sick day.
Oh, wow.
So for me to have a day off is, it's serious stuff. And the man flu got me hard.
It's a killer.
I wonder if anyone's died from man flu.
Oh, I don't know.
So I was off work. Whilst this was happening, this was a Tuesday, and I felt myself coming down with something. And you know when you're just gonna be ill.
Yeah.
My kids were having their flu jabs, so they're gonna be a little bit rough because that's one of the side effects of it, isn't it? They can show symptoms of flu.
Yeah.
So the Wednesday I wake up just feeling dreadful, and my throat is like huge. You could see it in the mirror, like my glands. And then my wife gets a sickness bug.
Oh no.
So she is more out of play than I am. So like, we've got both of us struck down. I've got the man flu. Lee's got the sickness bug. And then both kids are feeling a bit not peckish, that's hungry. feeling a bit peaky. I don't know what the phrase is. They're feeling a bit run down. They're a bit out of sorts.
They're a bit hungry.
Yeah, they're feeling a bit hungry because
Hungry for health.
Yeah, so that was not fun, might I say.
Oh, man.
It was dreadful. And I think that's where a lot of the additional TV, that those couple of days,
makes both of you down as well.
honestly.
And it sounds bad, but it's worse when you're not the worse off.
Yeah, I like couldn't say like you deal with them because she was really just being sick a lot, and obviously like then you've got your in-laws going, well, my mum and dad, her in-laws going, not pregnant, are you? It's like, no. So yeah, that wasn't a fun couple of days. And hey, this is a good one for Sandra actually, because it was rainy day.
Yeah.
Recognised there's a lot of TV going on. Took them to IKEA.
Oh,
It's an indoor play centre.
it's amazing.
Yep.
I'd worry of losing one of them. Because you've got two. I've got just one to deal with.
Yeah.
I'd worry about losing one.
Yeah. Well, youngest was asleep
That's true.
throughout the whole time. So that was, it was really helpful. No, she wasn't. She was asleep until we got there. But then she was in the pushchair the whole time.
Oh, fair.
Yeah. So she was just chilling.
Oh, I love it.
But if I was like a legit millionaire, billionaire, I think I'd just hire out an IKEA and invite my friends round for a party.
You should do that for free.
I know, but like exclusive use of the IKEA, and maybe do something like a massive game of Nerf Wars.
That would be fun.
Roller skates or like e-scooters or something.
See, I find in IKEA it's enjoyable up to a time threshold, and as soon as you cross that threshold, if you're lost in the maze, it's immediate. Like, get me out.
You've got to get in, get out.
You're having great fun. Immediate horror. I need to leave. I feel claustrophobic. Let me get out of IKEA.
What's your preference of food in an IKEA? Is it the restaurant bit, chips and meatballs, or is it the end bit with the hot dogs?
Second choice, or third option here.
Oh,
you spend that long in IKEA. You start with the food in the restaurant.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it.
And then you end with a little tapas on the way out.
You can get away with eating anything if you call it tapas.
Just a vast selection. Just get it all. Have a little 50p hot dog. And some
the value.
And some meatballs.
When I was at uni, we had to walk past IKEA to get from uni to our house.
Oh, that's great as a student.
When you're on a student budget.
Oh, I love IKEA.
It's amazing. But yeah, so that was no fun, but also fun.
That's a good one if you've got kids. We do actually do that as a day trip. Sometimes if we've got like a few hours to kill, it's like, what should we do? Just go IKEA. I need some new ideas.
Shout out IKEA.
I need a new chair. Or like a desk pad. It's such random, isn't it?
Yeah, there's loads of stuff in there. But yeah, it's all the like fake plants and stuff.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I never feel like I need a fake plant until I go to IKEA, and then I'm like, oh.
I do find it impossible not to spend any money though when I go. I'm terrible.
There's a lot in there.
It just gets you.
Something that made me laugh was there's a item of furniture, don't know what it is, called lac.
Yes.
And they didn't have any of it. And I just stood there looking at it thinking, that's really funny. I hope someone's just emptied that shelf for a bit of a joke. I did have a proud dad moment though in IKEA.
Oh, go on.
So there's a kids bit, isn't there? Kids' bedrooms.
Yeah. Oh, so there's a little tunnel that you can crawl through.
Yeah. There's all sort of tents, all sorts. Yeah. And I did let my little boy just play in there for a while. And there was an octopus toy that he wanted. He was like, Daddy, can I have this octopus? I was like, oh, let's see. £16. No, thanks.
Wow.
Yep. How much is that? Like £2 a leg? That's mad. So I told him to put it back, and he was holding it. And I said to him, let's leave the octopus. He went, oh, I want it. And I said, no, we're not. You've got lots of toys at home. I want the octopus. So I'm like, but if you have the octopus, that means someone else can't play with it. And he looked at me, and he just went, like nodded his head and put it back. Oh. And I was like, what a boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's another good technique.
I was so proud of him. Really was. Like the consideration of, I want this, but other people won't be able to have it if I have it. Oh. So yeah, I was so proud of him. The fact that he like stopped and thought and then put it back.
Yeah.
I was like, what a boy. And do you know what? Because you've been so good, you can have the octopus. No, I didn't.
Oh, that's brilliant. Honestly, I'm finding myself stretch a lot because I think we've talked about Noah's now transitioning into like a cot bed.
Oh yeah, how's that
we
going?
bought one of those cots that just turns into the bed. Basically, the sides just remove. It's genius marketing. It's the same thing. You just take the sides off. Anyway, it's tiny, but Noah's been ill this week. Like she's been either reacting to something or she'd had something that basically means her hands were really itchy, and so she was waking up in the middle of the night and just like crying and moaning. And one of the only ways that we could get her to go back to sleep, and we're also weaning her off coming into our bedroom. And so either me or my wife have been taking turns to like station in her room with her, but we've been squeezing onto her tiny little bed.
They're so little.
They're so little, and so like your legs are bent, your neck's bent, like you're all crooked in. But the problem is we've been so tired that we've been falling asleep.
Yeah, been there.
And so we're only supposed to go in for like 5 minutes. Turns into 3 hours.
Yep.
And then what's even worse is that when you try to get up, half your body's shut down, and so you wake her up in the process of getting out.
Just literally the object.
the last night we did, so she's not done it for a few nights now. She's back. She's better, so she's sleeping through again, which is amazing. The last night I went to get out, and I slipped holding onto the little side, and I landed on the side. On my back, landed on the side of the bed. Oh, and I just had to do it silently.
Silent yelp.
Just roll on the floor, just feeling really sorry for myself.
The silent yelp.
But anyway, we have discovered that the cot beds do support my weight.
Yep. Because they creak, don't they? When you're first getting onto them, there's a lot of creaking.
It was dangerous, but now
I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, and it was a good temporary solution. Yeah. But now my back and my neck are suffering.
What we did, we bought our little boy. I think I've said this before as well. This is the thing with the podcast now. I don't know what I've said and what I haven't. Is we bought him a double bed when we moved house. And we kind of disguised that as, well, we've got a ready-made guest room.
Yeah.
If people come round. Like when you came round, we had the double bed in. Well, my wife ended up sleeping in with him, and I was in another bed. So threw that argument out the window. But it's dangerous. I'm just always asleep in his room.
Yeah, so we've talked, because of your double bed, we've talked about getting one for Noah, and it's like,
I'd highly recommend it.
We would do it for our own backs.
Yeah,
but it is when you're so tired, so it's just too easy just to fall asleep.
I fall asleep every night,
and it's quite nice, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
you cuddle in, and it's like, and they cuddle into you, and they've just got a way of making you not want to leave.
Well, I do that myself, to be fair, just by falling asleep.
But what I had was, because her hands were itchy, and I don't usually shave. I usually just let it grow out and then just see how long I can keep it going without looking
just falls
terrible.
Out.
Yeah, just falls out of stress. No.
You should do what I do. Just don't grow any. just doesn't come in.
So I went clean shaven for the first time in a while, but the timing was so bad because her hands were itchy, and I was in her bed. Literally for about an hour and a half, she was just rubbing both hands on my face. Just
bit of sandpaper.
And I was so tired, I just didn't even stop her. I was just like, yeah.
Just rub that infection in.
What?
Just avoid the eyes. Oh, amazing. That is funny.
I've got a question for you and the list. It's a question, but also just an observation of how difficult it is. Eating out with kids.
Oh, yep.
So last week we went to Pizza Hut as a bit of a treat.
Do you do the buffet?
No, we just went for the
menu.
deals off the menus,
Nice.
whatever was there. It was quite late, but it was one of those times where we hadn't sorted out dinner, but we were planning to go out. Didn't know where to go, because that's the first stumbling block, is where's child friendly.
Yeah.
And also is loud enough where it's not going to be awkward if they start crying or screaming or just being a nuisance. Anyway, she was lovely, it was going fine. But then she got a bowl of sweet corn. She poured it onto her pizza. You look away for a second, then it's all over the table.
Yep.
And then it's all over the floor. And then she's got her drink, which she's knocked and it's spilt. And then she doesn't like her kid's fork, and so she's taken your fork. And now that's on the floor. And it's like you're constantly just trying to eat your own food and then cope with all the stress. And then just also aware that you don't want to leave it a complete tip for the people to clean up.
Yeah.
Having a lovely time, but it's just like so many things are going on. It's like a war.
I think eating out is one of the most stressful things as a parent that you can do. And it's just that you are so mindful of other people.
Yeah.
Now, like 9 times out of 10, other people aren't bothered. They appreciate that, and they can see that your kids are young. I think it's different if you've got like a 12-year-old that's kicking off. But when they're like toddlers that are 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
I find that people are really nice and they're like, it's fine and all that. But it's so stressful because you're just so aware of other people whilst your toddler is just having a meltdown.
And there's always that moment, well, at least there is for me, maybe this is part of my issue, of when your food comes out and it's hot and it's like ready to go.
Yeah.
And then you can see something happening and you've got the split decision choice to make of, do I just ignore it and enjoy at least the first bite of hot, delicious food?
Yeah.
Or do I attend to this because it's going to go all over the floor?
Then you've got the whole thing of when their food comes out and it's too hot.
Yeah.
So you've been telling them for ages, your food's coming, your chippies are coming, and then they come and it's like, right, now you've got to wait a little bit more.
And it's often well-meaning like servers who put it right in front of them.
Yeah.
Oh, it's ready to, like, they don't have kids, you can clearly tell because the plate is like boiling.
Yeah, watch that, it's a sizzling plate.
As they hand them a steak knife.
Yeah. Yeah, don't scold your mouth on that.
So I want to know some tactics of when you're eating out that don't involve, like, so we have the phone as a backup.
Last resort for us as well.
Colouring lasts like 30 seconds when it's out because there's so much stuff going on. Are there any tactics? Are there any best times of the day? Because obviously you don't want to time it where they're overtired, but they also still need to be hungry.
Yeah. But hungry enough.
Yeah,
not over hungry.
Not too hungry. Like, what is the tactics that people have?
It's hard. I don't think we've ever had a really, really bad eating out experience. But it is tricky to manage everything and balance everything. Our last resort is the phone, which we don't like doing, but you do get there quickly.
Yeah, you do get that. Everything just stops.
Right, it's like, right, crayons are gone, everything's gone. The starter bread has gone. And it's like, right, it's time for the phone now. But I think if you're there on your own, you'd be all right.
Yeah.
I Spy. I don't know if 2 and 3-year-olds can play I Spy.
Yeah. Our daughter plays I Spy.
Does she?
Yeah.
She's good at it.
I wouldn't say good. She enjoys it. She can do T for tree.
That's good.
And K for car.
That's good.
But that's all she's got. So every time she says it, obviously I win.
Too easy. Up your game. It's silent letters. K for night.
Yeah. Imagine playing that with a 2-year-old. I suppose something with a K, and they're just guessing for hours.
Yeah.
That's cruel.
Yeah. P for psychopath.
Whoa, that's deep.
Yeah. How do you spot a psychopath? At a Nando's. Psychopath does begin with P, doesn't it?
Mate, I can't spell.
Too much psychopath talk. But I saw a thing the other day, and this feeds in quite nicely. It's an Uber fact on Twitter. Have you ever come across Uber facts?
Not until now.
Random. Just a load of random facts from around the world.
Oh.
So random you could even suggest made up. But I've been reliably... I've not been informed by anyone. But it's quite a well-followed account, and it's verified. There you go.
Great.
So everything must be true that they say.
So trust it completely and don't.
But it says, on average, children will stress out their parents 6 times a day. I'm guessing that person's not been to a restaurant that day. And not a nice one.
But sometimes it's not even just like stressful. It's just there's just a lot going on.
And mostly it's worse than you think it is. No, sorry. It's not as bad as you think it is. It's worse in your head
100%.
than it is in... Yeah, you're doing a terrible job. You think you're doing well,
it's
but you're not.
much worse in your head than has actually happening.
Yeah.
6 times a day? Would you say that's... Are we saying that's you're with them all day? I mean, there's not a lot of background information to this fact.
Is it 24 hours? Is it just the time you're awake?
Wow.
Is it things like them. I don't know why, but I get really stressed out when my daughter coughs at night.
Really?
Yeah, because I just think she's going to be sick. Because that normally is what happens.
Okay.
If she... Well, our little boy was quite bad for it. He'd cough so much that he'd just make himself sick.
Yeah.
So now when I hear her coughing, I'm just like... So even though she's not stressing me out, she's not doing anything, I'm a bit like, oh, is she going to be sick? And that's in my sleep. So...
See,
is that included in the count?
Yeah. Well, I reckon if you were to take a week worth of stress... Because some days, like, no stress at all.
Yeah.
Like, just absolute dreamer.
Does it average?
Yeah, and then the other days, you get all that week's worth of stress in one day.
A teenager's included.
I don't even... teenagers are like the dark arts to me.
Well, I can't remember. I don't know if I can remember being a teenager that much. Because I think in my head, I've always been pretty similar.
Yeah.
And like things that I say now and like sarcastic jokes and stuff, you can get away with as an adult.
Yeah.
But as a teenager, people are like, oh, that's a bit rude or a bit cheeky.
Yeah.
But as an adult, it's like, oh, he's making a joke.
See, I assume that the challenges are just different. Because obviously teenagers, they can, to a degree, they can look after themselves, keep themselves entertained. It's more about navigating the social and philosophical world with them.
Stress of not knowing where they are.
Yeah, and then like guiding them through all the drama of school and all that sort of stuff. And I imagine that's a lot more difficult.
Does that worry you? Have you thought that far ahead?
So I do a lot of, not a lot of work, but I run a lot of youth groups and stuff through church. And so actually I feel so much more comfortable with teenagers than I do with children. But from the perspective of just treat them like adults in terms of my idea with teenagers always has been like, if you treat them older than they are, they'll act up. Whereas if you treat them like children, they will act like children. It doesn't always work.
Or just get annoyed at you for treating them like children.
Yeah. And like, I think we can sometimes forget like 11, 12-year-olds how their brains actually are when we were that young. Like, you can comprehend quite a lot.
Yeah.
But it does worry me about all the potential things that could not even just go wrong, but that could be issues in my daughter's life. You think about like friends at school and bullying and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
All the possibilities of, because it's not even always how you raise them. It can be something entirely not down to you or to them, which affects their life. I wouldn't say I agonize over it, but it's one of those being aware that actually the teenage years are ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, it's this like the school stuff that worries me. And then you hear stories about people that, excuse me, they have, like their friends have WhatsApp groups.
Yeah.
Without them in.
Yeah.
It's like a group of 5 will have 5 WhatsApp groups without each one in, and like all that kind of stuff worries me. But then I just think that might not be around in 15 years' time.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Because if you rewind back when it was MSN Messenger.
Yeah.
That was all that drama, which is very different to WhatsApp, but also along the same sort of lines. So it's just a newer technology. They're just surrounded by it all the time. That is worrying, but also to the point of I don't want to miss out.
Yeah,
I want to be really safe and like secure, like all the technology, and be really clear with boundaries. But you don't want them missing out to be the reason of why stuff's going bad.
Yeah,
stressful.
Yeah, like it will all change by then. But yeah, little things every now and again. Just maybe I hear a story of someone else who's got a teenager, and I just think, oh gosh, that's a thing that's coming my way in the future. But then I just have to remind myself that it's a long way away.
It's a long way away.
Things are going to change by then, and hopefully, people will be more. Social media and stuff will be more of a actually this can be really harmful.
And the way I look at it is we've got 10 years on the people who've got teenagers now. Because, I mean, Facebook was around, it's been around for a while and stuff like that. Social media's been around for a while, but it's still fairly new when it comes to young people and to teenagers and like learning the effects and what it does to them and their mental health. Yeah. I've got at least 10 years to be dealing with that. I say at least because I don't want to give my daughter a phone for a long time. But you know, that's the sort of mindset I'm going with. Hopefully that people will learn lessons and then share them. So by the time I come to deal with it, it's like, oh, okay, these are... But then there'll be new technology and new things. And, oh, man.
Holograms.
That'll be like Elon Musk's brain chip thing that he's working on.
Oh,
have you seen that?
No.
Don't.
No.
It's designed basically like a phone chip or something, which will just drop into your brain, and so you'll be able to operate it using your brain.
No.
No one wants that.
No, man. Stop it.
Just stop.
Stop it. No. Bring back MSN. Simpler times. Do you know what I used to do on MSN? I was that guy that would like add in loads of people to a conversation, add everyone into your contact list, and then people would be like, who's added me in? Who started this? And then I'd just leave.
Do you remember the nudge?
Yeah. Give someone a little nudge. And then you could have the thing like pop up on the screen and knock.
Yeah. The original emojis.
But like your computer was so slow that that little fist knocking on your screen would just break everything. Just really slow knock. By this point, no one's nudging anybody now.
Simpler times with the MSN and MySpace.
Yeah. I've bringing things to today. I've got a daddy issue.
Oh, come on.
Oh, it's so annoying. What time are we on before I delve into this? How long have we got? Oh, we've got a little bit of time. So my daughter has learnt the word no. But she can give it out. She can't take it. And it's so annoying. So like I'll say, right, come on, let's get your coat on. Well, actually, that's not true. She loves having her coat put on. She'll bring it up to me. But if I'm trying to put a nappy on, when they start walking, changing a nappy is just, it's a mission. It's a full-on strategic operation. It's ridiculous. It takes so long. So I'm like, right, come put your nappy on. And she'll go, no. And she's got
so cute.
She's got the cutest little, no. And at first I loved it. And I'd just ask a question, so she'd say no. But now she can walk and say no. She just runs away from me. But the other day, she was like pressing the plug sockets.
Yeah.
I said, no, really nicely. Just like the top lip went. Just like, I'm like, oh gosh. Or is it the bottom lip? Both lips. And she just started crying. But now every time I say no to her, she just cries.
Yeah, we went through that.
It's so annoying. But she's like giving it out left, right and centre. No.
Yeah, we went through that. And even now, like, I'll ask her to do something and she'll go, I'm just going to do this instead. And she'll say that. I'm like, no, I've asked you to do that. And I know I bring this person up all the time, but I saw a Super Nanny clip.
Oh, yeah.
Of someone, it was a separate issue, but she was saying at that point, it's just a battle of the wills.
Mm.
It's just a battle of, this is what I've said, so you need to do it. And it's just, it's so frustrating when it's like they're really cute. And it's like they're just saying no to you really cutely. But at the end of the day, I've asked you to do that. I need you to do it. But
yeah, it's such a pain. And she's too young to reason with. She's like 14 months old.
That's brilliant.
She doesn't understand a thing.
She understands no.
She understands no. But yeah, that's an annoying one. Really, really quite annoying. You got any daddy issues going on?
It's probably not necessarily a daddy issue, probably a parenting issue, and it's a big topic, especially within like the church kind of world and Christian kind of world as well. But also like Halloween's just happened. I don't know if this is like worldwide or just in the UK and America. But is it 31st? When's Halloween? Anyway,
it's either the 31st or the 1st of November.
On a particular night, everyone dresses up in costumes, or kids do, and they go door to door, do trick or treating. The problem I'm having is that we were in Sainsbury's the other day, down the kids aisle, and some of the costumes were genuinely frightening. And like, I've got like a 2.5-year-old. I'm just very aware that I don't want to pass on any unnecessary fear. Because I'm like, oh, what is that? That shouldn't happen.
Jeez.
Yeah. But also I'm like, surely there's a line like of being like child friendly and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point.
And I don't want to be like too like that person of going, oh, can we just tone it down a bit? But it's that point of like, surely there has to be some sort of awareness.
Yeah. Because some of the stuff is scary, and it's like, I remember once a guy, and it was an adult, not a kid. We were driving back to our house, walking down the middle of the street with an axe. I don't know if it was a real axe or a fake one. I'm in the car.
Yeah.
Little boy's in the back, and he stood in front of my car to the point where I had to stop, and he just stood there with this axe, and I'm like, are you joking right now? Like, I've got a child in the car.
Yeah.
And whether that axe is real or not, he doesn't know that.
Yeah.
All he sees is a guy with a mask on an axe, thinking, what are you doing with your life? Get out of the road.
And I think, again, this is one of those things that actually since becoming a parent, I didn't care at all before. Now I've got young kids, I'm like, oh no, I'm really aware of all the things that could be frightening or could do actually potential damage to their like lives the next few weeks while they're scared because someone's going to come stand at their bedroom with an axe.
Well, it's funny you should say that. So I think Halloween was Friday just gone or Thursday. I don't know.
Yeah.
But on Saturday night, my little boy woke up saying that there was a monster in his room. Oh. Literally never done that before.
Wow.
But like the day after Halloween or 2 days after, he's saying there's a monster, and he was up crying. So that was and you say to him, look, there's no monsters and all that kind of stuff, and he was fine after that. But I don't think it was coincidence that he's seeing all this stuff, and all these things. And even at nursery, he came home and said, "Oh, we've been drawing ghosts and whatnot," and then he's saying, "There's a monster in my room." So yeah, it's not nice to see whether you do it or not. And I'm very mindful. So I'm a Christian. We're Christians. We talk about that quite openly, and I don't want to make Christians sound weird. Yeah. That's my thing. Like I'm not embarrassed about my faith or anything.
Yeah.
But I don't want to come across as a weird Christian.
Yeah.
By saying I don't do Halloween. But whether you're got a faith or not, whatever that faith is, a lot of the stuff is scary for kids. And my little boy, he's still not aware of faith. Like we do prayers with him at bedtime and whatnot. But yeah, him saying that there's monsters in his room around Halloween.
And I think that's the thing for me. If it's like it's not like you have a choice to opt into it as well. It's just everywhere.
Yeah.
But you could say the same with any other sort of thing that's celebrated. It's just everywhere, and things that are like scary and stuff. But it's even the trying to do the bedtime routine.
Yeah.
With trick-or-treaters.
Stop knocking the door. We had a knock on the door and we ignored it, and it was my in-laws.
But going back to the monster thing, one of the things that I found really cool and really helpful was it Giovanna and Tom Fletcher?
Love them.
They write their books. They've got a series of books. There's one of them called "There's a Monster in My Book," but it frames the monster as something nice, and like friendly. And so like when we see like monsters or little toys and stuff that could be scary, my daughter's less scared because it's like a friendly introduction to like actually monsters aren't something to be scared of. So that was really helpful.
Yeah, that's good. Love Tom and Giovanna.
They're really good books.
I want them to be my mum and dad. If I could pick a celebrity couple to be my mum and dad, it would be them.
Do we start a campaign?
Yeah. Get me in. Jordan Fletcher. Make it happen. So it's November, and so next month is Christmas. Speaking of celebrations that get forced upon you.
The days are coming.
Wolf of Wall Street over it. And do you know what I'd like for Christmas, Jace? I'd like nothing more than to get to 500 Instagram followers.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a great goal, but that's all you want?
It's affordable. So we're at 400 and something at the minute. So if you listen to the podcast and you don't follow us on Instagram, please do. Make my Christmas wish.
Oh, that would be amazing. And also, one of the things that I think is pretty exciting, and for us...
Very exciting.
Our goal for Christmas is to reach 10,000 downloads on the podcast.
Isn't that mad?
We are approaching that. Is crazy. I didn't think we would be in this position.
I thought it would take us years.
I thought it would be me and you, and then after a month, one of us would stop listening.
I honestly thought it would be like me, you, and my mum. And then like a few friends that are supportive.
Yeah.
That like listen to it in the car on mute.
Yeah, so we're approaching 10,000 downloads. Thank you to everyone who's shared, commented. We really appreciate the support, but also just the little community that's fallen of just people where I don't feel alone in this, of trying to be a good parent and just embracing the bad times as well. Yeah. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. And if you watch on YouTube and you haven't yet subscribed, please do. And in the meantime, keep parenting.
That's amazing. Anyway, that's the end of this episode. Have a great week.